Okay everyone, this is something you don't see in the UK very often. This is a wire recorder, more specifically a Wireway model WP, you can see the numbers there. These were popular in America in the late 40s through 50s before the invention of reel-to-reel tape. Also used in World War II quite a lot to record various things. What do they record on? Well, here's another machine, and there is the wire, as you can see, just as thin as a human hair. What is it? It's chromium plated steel wire or chromium wire, or it's magnetic anyway. Works exactly the same as a tape recorder. You have a head, and that magnetizes parts of the wire as it's traveling through. And yeah, actually they have some pretty nice audio quality. Now, I purchased this machine on eBay as a project, but I think it's too far gone. On the bottom of this turntable is a worm gear, and that turns a cog sideways adjacent to it that moves the head up and down. This is the head. And the reason why you want this to move up and down is so it spools the wire evenly across the reels when it's playing, recording, rewinding, etc. Otherwise, it will just get bunched up. And you can imagine trying to untangle several miles of this stuff. It's just not happening. It is not happening. But the cog has a lot of teeth missing. So this will never, unless that can be replaced somehow, which I very much doubt it, this will never play wire properly. Now, I did replace a couple of sections of the filter cap in this, because when I plugged it in, the seller had already told me it had been plugged in, so I plugged it in and there was a loud hum emanating from the unit. So I just replaced a couple of sections of the 4-section filter cap because, well, I've run out of capacitors actually. I need to order some more. And you know what? It did actually emit some sound. I will tack on the end of this video the first power up of this machine. But of course, this whole mechanism made a noise because the idler wheel was hard. What's the tone arm for? Well, on this particular machine, you could also bang on a 78 RPM record, drop the needle, switch that to phono, hit wire play to engage the motors, and it would play back records. And not only could you play records, but you could record the records directly to wire. So, there we go. I've always wanted this deck. I've always wanted a machine with this particular deck. I see them a lot in the US, Silvertone and various other things. And I think in Sweden or somewhere like that, there was a machine called a Amra wiring phone that had this particular deck in it. So, always wanted one, but alas, the one I got isn't the best example. I'm still going to restore the amplifier, I think, and I'm going to take care of the rubber idler wheels, and, you know, it can be a gramophone, unless I sit here manually. Might put a thing so I can manually bob the head. But anyway, this machine came with a couple reels of wire. This one here, with a date, where is it? 20th of the 2nd, 51. And this other one has a date of 1949 on the other side of the reel. I'll just get the valves in this warmed up. This is a dictation machine. This is a AGA Agaphone. There you go, made in Sweden. Machine that this was my first ever wire recorder actually. And it came with a reel that I digitized on another channel, a psychiatrist and the psychologist sending people to mental asylums, which is cool. But here's a sample of what this recorded back in the day.
I asked her if she'd marry me, and she replied, just wait and see. While I was out at the la-di-dee, she just walked out on me. Why, she never really cared for this kind of smoky atmosphere. She was heading, she always yearned for the prairie, where she could breathe some of God's fresh air. She liked horses for company. I guess she liked them better than me. Suppose that's why my
You can see that spooling there.
just walked out on me. Why, she's walked out on me. Now can anyone here find a horse for me? As quiet and gentle as can be, the kind that won't part company when I ride with
Various
Rosalie.
people singing.
Now could anyone here teach a guy like me to ride the trail like Rosalie? For if I can show I'm as tough as she, maybe then she'll marry me. I'm gonna miss my old shades you go.
So that's a sample of what was on this machine, or what it would have originally recorded in the day. It's very, very rare to find these in the UK. This even has an old UK plug on it, and it's made for 240, 250 volts. It says in the what bit of the manual I've got 60 cycle operation, but clearly it must have recorded okay at 50. That's a 50 cycle machine, so yeah, just thought I'd document it. Definitely a keeper. I'm not going to get rid of it, but I just wish that it would wouldn't have had the broken teeth on the bottom gear, so that this would go up and down, so I could actually use it after it's restored. I suppose I could get the gramophone bit to work. There's the older static crystal cartridge with put a steel needle in it. I've already tested that, and to nobody's surprise, that bit's dead. So there you go, some wire machines. I'll tack on that bit of the video when I actually had this thing running briefly. It's going to be very, very quick because the machine is fucked and it's ready to explode, and it's not feeding the wire properly because of a broken gear. But do we have amp?
Wake up, walk in bed and make him blink his eyes.